How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Steins Gate, my darling's embrace. It's modeling time. Yes, Mayuri decided to take up the modeling opportunity here at this theme park or wherever the fuck we are. And Okabe has been roped in because they want that joyous smile and happiness from Mayuri to show, make things feel more genuine in the photos that they are taking here in this modeling gig. And I'm all down for that. I'm all down for seeing Okabe in a nice ass tux. Though we can only see like a portion of him. You know, it's good enough for me, you know? 30 minutes later. The professionals had done their work on me, coordinating my appearance perfectly from top to bottom, and then standing me in front of the merry-go-round. What is happening? What am I doing here? I've only felt this twice before, once when I had to wear a kimono for a coming-of-age ceremony at a shrine, and once when I first wore my junior high uniform.
もしもし、そうだ、俺だ。すまない。油断したばかりに恐るべき機関の陰謀に巻き込まれてしまった。だが案ずるな。絶対に脱出する方法を見つけ、この難局を切り抜けてみせる。かつてない危機だが、俺は必ずやり遂げるだろう。なぜならそれがシュタインズゲートの選択だからだ。L、プサイ、カンガルー。
In the middle of this important conversation, Moika took my phone away when the sisterly cameraman said, "Shall we get started?"
ごめんね、おかり。
Mayuri switches up to me in her dress and looks up at me. You should be. Have you lost your mind? Is what I was going to say, but when I saw how cute Mayuri looked, the words caught in my throat. For some reason, I couldn't think of anything to complain about.
まゆしね、おかりんと写真を撮りたかったんだ。考えてみたらね、最近一緒にちゃんと写真を撮ったことないなって。
そうだったか？
I wish I was more photogenic. Huh, now that she mentions it, I don't think I've had my picture taken since my high school graduation ceremony. And I really can't imagine that I'd have a chance to get one with her, especially since she was in a lower grade than me.
いい記念になるね。
記念というより、おぞましい記憶だと思うがな。
I took another look at myself. They'd styled my hair and shaved off any trace of my stubble, so I feel kind of uncomfortable.
でもね、そうしてきちんとしてるおかりんは、なんだか本当のモデルさんみたいだよ。
わけのわからんことを。
本当だよ。すっごくかっこいいよ。
Mayuri's not the kind of person who compliments someone to make them feel better, so I honestly believe she thinks so. But come on, she's definitely biased. Nobody else would think that. Look, see, the photoshoot crew is looking at us with smiles on their faces. They're probably all thinking love is blind. Ugh. Even if this is for the lab, I can't take it. This is shameful.
おいしやつしよ。俺の分のバイト料もちゃんと出るのだろうな。
大丈夫。
あと、本当に俺の顔は映すなよ。お前たちにも機関の手が及ぶからな。
Yeah, I'm sure that's the major issue here.
わかってる。期間とかよくわからない。
And I'm glad that somebody is questioning it.
お前も知らなくていいことだ。
Then the feminine photographer, said, "Now we're going to take photos of the happy couple cuddling up on the carousel." Did he say cuddling up?
逃げちゃダメ、逃げちゃダメ、逃げちゃダメ。
Okay.
やかましいわ。こら、引っ張るな、おい。
I was dragged onto the merry-go-round. Meanwhile, Mayuri was trying to get onto a wooden horse by herself, and looking like she was having a lot of fun. And then she mounted it like a cowboy with one leg on each side.
こら、前より自分が着ている服を考えろ。
ああ、そうだったよ。どうすれば。
馬の背に斜めに座って足をちゃんと揃えてだな。
なんかお姫様みたいだね。こうかな。
Whether it was the costume or the unfamiliar way of sitting, she lost her balance and slipped. I rushed over to her, catching her in my arms. Excuse me.
ほら、馬の首を持って、そしたら足をここに置いて。
ありがとう。
Mayuri leaned on me and smiled shyly. I felt her body on my arms. She was so light and soft, it felt like she would break if I wasn't careful with her. It felt like I was holding cotton candy fresh out of the machine. You know what they say, the best photos are candid, or some shit like that. Wait, are they shooting already? Sister cameraman had gotten close when I wasn't looking and he's been snapping away. Hold on, you fool, I'm not ready yet.
すみません、もう始まってるんですか?
I put my foot down with earth-shattering force, I'm sure you did. But the cameraman simply replied, that was wonderful, keep up the good work, and kept on shooting. Not sure exactly what was wonderful. I ended up playing with Mayuri on the merry-go-round. The cameraman didn't ask for much of us, simply saying, just have fun.
ねえねえ、オカリン、馬車に乗ってみようよ。
Mayuri pulls my arm as we bathe in the sea of lights.
馬車ってこれか? 無理だろう。子供用だぞ、多分。
Mayuri was talking about a carriage with a roof that looked way too small for two adults to squeeze into.
そうかな。
Mayuri got into the carriage and fit perfectly into the seat.
ほら、大丈夫だよ。オカリンもどうぞ。
どうぞって、本当に平気か?
Oof. I squeeze in and take a seat across from Mayuri. Though it seems less like we're facing each other and more like we're squeezed into a tiny box together. My head touches the roof and I can hardly move.
なんか苦しいね、オカリン。
Didn't we say that?
だから言ったろう。
あれ、お尻が抜けないよ、オカリン。
Uh-oh.
何? ほら、俺に捕まって引っこ抜け。どこ握ってるんだお前は。
なんか今グニュって言ったよ、オカリン。
説明せんでいい。
Wait, what did she grab onto?
あんたも写真撮ってないで助けろ。
I shouted at the sisterly cameraman. 4 staff members hurried over to get us out. What are we even doing at this point, really? After the fuss at the merry-go-round resolved itself, they took us over to the teacups. They told us that it would be hard to take our picture while the teacups were spinning, so we're going to sit in them while they're not moving. Once we got into a cup, they brought us a couple of glasses with a sparkling beverage inside. A non-alcoholic beverage, of course. Surrounding us were red flowers and other festive objects to give things a Christmassy look.
わあ、かわいいね。
Excuse me, Mayuri started happily playing with the decorations. Seeing her like this, I breathed a sigh of relief that the little girl I knew was still in there somewhere. Unfortunately, right after this, I had to suffer through a terrible drink. They told us to look into each other's eyes and make a toast like a couple would. What's wrong with them? What kind of couple is stupid enough to make a toast while riding the teacups? Come on, man. Still, we follow their ridiculous directions. We hold our drinks in hand and get our faces close to each other. And then we're supposed to look at each other, but I can't do so for too long because I get nervous. Mayuri, on the other hand, seems to have gotten used to this shoot. She looks straight into my eyes, looking as if she's really in love with me. Well, is she? Her eyes were glittering, her cheeks were slightly flushed, and her glossed lips were slightly opened as they were waiting for something. Uh-oh. What's with that faint sigh? It's so cute. What's wrong with me? A modern woman rom-com situation like this has no place in my life of chaos and madness. Man, say that to the other fucking rats we've been in. Could this be the organization's doing? Am I getting brainwashed or something? Damn you, organization.
どうしたの？おかり。
あ、いや、なんでもない。
I mean, there's no way she feels that way about me, right? I tried with all my might to find the right look to return her gaze, but who could blame me for struggling with something like that? Mayuri starts cracking up.
もうおかり、笑わせちゃやだよ。
What are we doing that makes her laugh exactly?
笑わせとらんわ。
嘘だよ。こんな顔してるもん。
Mayuri squinted her eyes, brought her eyebrows together, and puckered her lips like an octopus. She looked like a comedy mask.
そんなひどいか？
うん。
よし、もう一度だ。
I have to keep my pride intact, at least. I channeled all my energy into my eyes and looked straight at Mayuri. Huh. How about that, Mayuri? Modeling is nothing against the concerted effort of Hyoin Kyoma. I almost said concentrated there. I don't think we're doing all that well of a concentrated job. The crew kept warning us that they couldn't take pictures like this, and every time it happened, the shoot slowed to a halt.
なんという厳しい戦いだ。
岡部君、意識しすぎ。
するだろ普通。
椎名さんはちゃんとできてるけど。
マユリには演技の才能があるんだ。そうに違いない。
演技なんてしてないよ。
No, no, no. There's no way you're just being yourself, Mayuri. There can't be.
変なおかり。
You're the weird one.
今の岡部君、ちょっと面白い。みんなに写メ送ろう。
Yeah, let's not do that.
やめんか。
I don't even want to think about what Kirisu would say if she saw me like this. It took me nearly half an hour to clear this difficult mission. In the end, I had to face Mayuri's direction, but look somewhere else. Why do I have to do this if they're only going to include my back and shoulder in the photos anyway? This is ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know what we're accomplishing anymore.
お疲れ様。この次で最後。
そうか。
I practically collapsed onto the bench in exhaustion. Once I'd gathered myself a little, I asked what the last shoot was going to be.
クリスマスツリーの前。プレゼントをするシーン。
Oh, that sounds easy.
クリスマスツリ
Do they even have Christmas trees this time of year? Before I could ask, the director asked us to follow her. She led Mayuri and I partway through the park. And... yeah, that's a fucking Christmas tree.
きれい。
I was always a fan of Christmas in August. Just felt right. When we got to the plaza near the entrance, Mayuri gasped in amazement. The sight took my breath away too. Before us towered a beautifully glittering tree of light. It was a fir tree covered in decorative bulbs that showered its surroundings with light. The lights danced along the shape of the tree, standing sparkly against the darkness in the background. Given that there were no other illuminated trees standing around, I surmised that this one was specifically decked out for this shoot. Makes sense. Mayuri trots towards the tree and looks up at it spellbound.
すごいね。きれいだね。
Without another word, she continues to look up at the tree, studying its every detail.
ほら、見てみろマユリ。てっぺんに星が乗ってるぞ。
本当だ。
Atop the tree shone a clear star that looked like it was made of crystal. It shone with the refracted colors of the lights wrapped around the tree.
なんだか夢みたい。
Mayuri muttered as she stared at the star.
クリスマスシーズンはもっとすごい。
そうなのか？
イルミネーション、この辺り全部。
それは確かに壮観だろうな。
I imagine the sickly sweet conversations a couple might have as they walk through this illuminated forest. A feat that will forever elude me.
今年の冬、来てみれば？
何をバカな。どうして俺がそんなベタなデートスポットをうろつかねばならんのだ。
でも、シーナさん、喜ぶと思う。
何？
Damn, Okabe is hella oblivious. But so am I. I looked at Moeka in a state of minor panic.
なんで俺がマユリと？
Moeka's facial expression doesn't change at all, so I have no idea if she's serious or just teasing me. If it were Kirisu or Daru harassing me, that they wouldn't be able to keep a straight face, so I'd know.
視圧しよう。変なことを言うな。
変なこと？
俺とマユリはそのデートとかするような関係じゃないからな。
デートの話なんてしてない。
Oh.
え？
ラボのみんなで見に来ようって話。
Oh.
あ、うん。
How misleading can you get? Just say what you mean in the first place. Use your words, damn you. Having blatantly incriminated myself, I attempted to change the subject as I turned to face Mayuri, but found myself startled. Mayuri was reaching out to the star with her right hand. Her back was straight and she was stretching as far as she could, as if she could reach the highest heights imaginable. In her eyes, I see a mysterious color, one that sits somewhere between nostalgia and wistfulness. Stardust Handshake. Mayuri's had this curious habit for a long time, so that's the name I gave it. No matter when, where, or what she's doing, sometimes she'll just suddenly get lost in a moment like this. She looks up to the sky, come on sentence, and reaches out as if there's something she wants, just out of reach. If she got whatever it is that she wants, what would happen? Or does she want something she can never get? I don't really know. But whenever I see her like this, I get angsty and unable to contain myself. And that's right, I can't help but get flashbacks of what I saw that day. Yeah, the angel's ladder descending in front of young Mayuri. The way she looked at it slowly reached out, and gently, the way Mayuri's body seemed to float toward the heavens haunts me to this day. So I desperately tried to hold on to her, to keep her in this world, to keep her from floating away. I'll never let you go, I'll never let them take you. As a boy, I held my friend in my arms and kept whispering those words into her ear.
Oi, Mayuri!
I called out to her with a loud, clear voice. I thought by raising my voice that I could both snap her out of her reverie and pull myself out of my memories. Mayuri looked at me and blinked in surprise.
ほら、そろそろ撮影が始まるみたいだぞ。
It was true. It seemed that the crew had finished setting up and I saw the photographer walking towards us.
ごめんね。
何をしてたんだ？
天のお星様は無理かもしれないけど、あのお星様なら手が届くかもしれないなと思って。
そりゃ無理だろう。木の一番上だぞ。 どのくらいの高さだと思ってるんだ？
そっか。残念だな。
Mayuri shrugged sadly. Only she would be dead serious about getting the star from the top of the tree.
じゃあ最後の撮影よろしく。
Moeka handed me the small gift. That's... The small gift that's we would be... God damn it, man. What the fuck? That we would be using in the photos. A tiny box with Christmas-themed wrapping and a ribbon on top.
何が入ってるのかな。楽しみだな。
いやいや、空っぽだろ。撮影用なんだから。
I shake the box and lo and behold, it makes no sound.
まゆし、立て続けにがっかりだよ。
The director overheard our conversation, smiled, and said I'll put something in there next time. Hey, what's this next time? There is no next time, never. I tell the director that with my eyes, and she just laughs. With the cameraman's call of, "Okay, my lovelies, positions," our final shoot began. Our shoot under the tree proceeded very smoothly compared to the previous one. Mostly because they were focusing on Mayuri, so I didn't have to do much. They took shots of her that contained only my hand, or perhaps I'd be off in the distance. Maybe, just maybe, the teacups taught them that it's reckless to try to get me to model. Huh, that's what I told them in the first place. At least we're still getting paid. But with that, our modeling session was completed. The director shouted, "Alright, that's a wrap, nice work today," and it echoed through the park. Then the crew started applauding Mayuri and I for some reason. Well, that was fun. I went to change out of my tux, and when I came back, Mayuri was standing under the tree. The crew had started removing all the trimmings from the tree. One was on a tall ladder to unwrap the lights. And in the middle of all this, Mayuri is staring at them without saying a word. Her gaze was fixed on the clear star above her. Mayuri saying, if I can't reach the stars in the sky, maybe I can reach the one at the top of the tree, echoes in my head. Maybe it's, you know, not necessarily a metaphor, but I guess maybe a subconscious, like, more approachable goal. Maybe that's what she's referring to. You know, trying to reach for something that's ridiculously far away, like the stars in the sky. You're never going to, you know, reach that sort of goal or whatever, or accomplish those types of the wishes that you may have or something along those lines, but something that's more grounded, something that's much closer, you know, maybe a goal in life or some shit. I don't know. That sounded good in my head. And then I remembered what Kirisu had told me the other day. After Mayuri had saved my life at the pool.
人工呼吸はともかく、岡部、あんたまゆりに何かお礼した方がいいわよ。
Kind of forgot about that. But that wasn't the only thing I had to thank Mayuri for. Mayuri's been worrying that she hasn't done anything for the lab, but I don't think that at all. Without her, I don't think I would have been able to keep the lab together for this long. Things wouldn't have been nearly as stable. The lab might have been broken up. Yeah, Mayuri was the first, like, lab member to show up, besides Okabe, of course. And the two of them, before Daru showed up, were like the glue that kept the lab together, right? We learned about this in the original game, right? Coming up with an idea, I walked over to Moeka.
指圧しよう。
何？
すまないが、ちょっと相談があるんだ。
相談？
あれが欲しいんだが、なんとかならないか？
I pointed at the star atop the tree. Moeka tilted her head in confusion as if she didn't quite understand what I said. But when she saw Mayuri staring at the star, she nodded.
プレゼント？
勘違いするな。日頃世話になってる礼だ。
That's a present. Moeka took a moment to think, then took out her phone and wrote me an email with her lightning-fast fingers. It was a rental from a leasing company. I'll ask the director if we can buy it, but don't expect much.
なあ、 悪いが頼む。あとその値段もな、あんまり高かったら無理だ。
They told me that I'd get paid, but I can't count on that. I still have the electricity bill to pay.
わかった。
Moeka looked at Mayuri as she said so. Mayuri didn't seem to notice, her gaze still fixed on the star. Well, that was a nice gesture by Okabe. Like, it's the smaller things, you know?
今日は緊張しちゃったね。
特に俺はいきなりだったからな。
We left the park before Moeka or the shooting crew and got on the train. It might just be because I've just escaped from a high-tension shoot, but I'm exhausted all of a sudden. Sitting right next to me, Mayuri looked a little tired too.
本当にごめんね。マユシーがあんなこと言ったから。
いや、文句を言ってるわけじゃない。めったにできない貴重な経験だったしな。
Mayuri looked so sorry that I had to say something to cheer her up.
それより前より、別れ際に始圧師の携帯から何か転送してもらってたよな。
あ、うん。これだよ。
Mayuri took out her phone and showed me a photo. Without thinking, I groaned. It was a photo of Mayuri and I all done up on the merry-go-round. It kind of hurt me to look at that. And then Mayuri continued the atrocity exhibition with a tap on her phone.
これももらったの。
On the screen, I saw Mayuri and myself sitting in the teacup looking into each other's eyes.
他にもね。
How many
ちょっ
are
と待っ
there?
て。これってさっき撮った写真だよな。
They were using a digital SLR camera, and the cameraman said that he'd taken the data back to his office to finalize the pictures on his computer, but...
萌香さんがね、撮影の合間に携帯で撮ってくれたやつだよ。
あ、そっか。そういえばちょこちょこ撮影していたな。
Damn you, Finger. She's not gonna show these photos to anyone in the lab, right? I need to confirm that with her later.
マユシーね、この写真がいい
Mayuri showed me one particular photo. The two of us are standing in front of the sparkling tree and smiling at each other. Because it was taken just after the shoot ended, the two of us had relieved smiles on our faces. Though, I looked a little zoned out.
なんだかかっこ悪くないか俺。
な。そんなことないよ。マユシーの大好きなオカリンだよ。
Mayuri said nonchalantly. It took me aback, but this is Mayuri we're talking about. She can't have meant it like that.
ああ、そうだ。この写真を携帯の待ち受けにしようかな。
I was gonna say, the comment section will probably say differently. Apparently a lot of people here seem to, be under the impression that Mayuri has always romantically loved Okabe, and I don't know.
それは不許可だ。
なんで？
誰かに見られたらどうする？
マユシーの携帯画面を見るのはフェリスちゃんやルカ君やクリスちゃんやスズさんやダル君たちだけだよ。
Okay, so everybody we know.
そいつらに見られるのが一番ダメだから言ってるんだ。
そうなの？
そうなの。恥ずかしいだろ。
オカリンがそう言うならやめるけど。
Mayuri gave the photo a sad look. And then she asked me another question.
じゃあね、みんながいないところでならいいかな。
あ？まあ、それなら構わん。
そっか。じゃあそうするよ。
She clutched her phone to her chest as if it were something precious. And then we were quiet for a while. The soft clatter of the train envelops us. Silences like these can be painful when you're around someone you're not really close to. You start desperately looking for things to talk about. But with Mayuri, I can be myself. We've been together since we were little, so we never have to be nervous around each other and can just do nothing together. I can start a conversation when I actually have something to say. It's very comfortable.
あのね。
どうした？
ね、今日は緊張したけどとっても楽しかったよ。
そうか？
オカリンの人質になって本当に良かったなって思うのです。
なんだそれは。
I laughed and prepared to change topics, but Mayuri paid my laugh no mind and continued.
まゆし、これからもずっとオカリンの人質でいられたらいいな。オカリンがおじいちゃんになってまゆしがおばあちゃんになっても人質でいられたらいいな。
That's kind of a poignant statement, isn't it? Or is it poignant? It's one of those. Unless it's just the residual atmosphere from the romantic photo shoot and she doesn't mean anything by it.
もちろんではないか。これまでもそうだったし、これからもずっとそうに決まっている。
I watched Mayuri carefully after giving her my response. But she only said yeah and resumed looking at the photos that Moeka had sent her or sent to her phone. I decided not to push the issue and stared out the window of the train. The lights of the residential areas pass us by, man-made shooting stars in the night sky. Under each light lives someone who I will never meet. They'll live out full lives of their own and die, our lives never intersecting. Mayuri and I are riding the same train now, but will we someday be like the strangers behind the lights, walking through different lives, our paths never to cross? I try not to think about those things because that's a little depressing, but okay. I shook my head to clear these invasive thoughts. Why am I even thinking about this? I swear it's all because Mayuri said that weird stuff. Oh. I see the interior of our train car reflected in the dark window. And of course I see Mayuri and myself. I frowned. Mayuri's looking at her cell phone, but she's wearing such a sad expression. Even though she just said today was so fun, she must have felt my suspicious gaze, since she lifted her head and met my gaze in the mirror-like window.
まゆし、ちょっとお腹空いちゃったんだよ。
Mayuri sheepishly rubbed her stomach. And then she took out her grandmother's pocket watch, pockety, to check the time.
だってほら、もうこんな時間だもん。お腹がね、ぐるるってなってるのです。
池袋の駅で何か食べていくか？
Mayuri said this with a smile. She's acting like herself again.
そうだ、これ。
Mayuri took an envelope from her bag. It had an ARC Rewrite logo on it. The director gave it to her as compensation for the photo shoot, and I got one as well.
ラボのために使ってほしいな。
いや、気持ちだけもらっておく。それは衣装代にでもするといい。
でも、
成り行きとはいえ、俺にもバイト代が出た。ラブの方はそれがあるから大丈夫だ。な。
To be perfectly honest, the amount I got today wouldn't cover everything. But I plan to make up for the remainder through other part-time jobs. I couldn't take Mayuri's money from her, at least that was my rationale. When I let go of her hand, Mayuri reluctantly returned the envelope to her bag. Yeah, I mean, I understand where Okabe is coming from, I really do. Alrighty, well, I think we, now that it's a new day and I don't know what the hell is going on anymore, I think we're good to save the game here and call it for the episode. This was a fun one. I actually really liked that photo shoot. That was very interesting, if I do say so myself. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, all that fantastic stuff. And I guess next time we'll see what develops between Okabe and Mayuri as the chapter, scenario, world line, whatever the fuck we're doing, continues on. I'll see you guys then. Take it easy.